Carroll, bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
I'm Phil Catchpole and welcome to episode 21 of Ringing the Blues. Coming up on this week's show, we hear from Gareth the Fonz Ainsworth.
Sod it, I'm just going to be me. This is me. This is how I'd be out on a Saturday night. And I think the boys respect me being me. They know I can be a bit of a lunatic sometimes, but I'll do anything for those boys. We'll scrap for each other, we'll fight for each other. And if I have to keep wearing this leather jacket and it gets us results, then I'll keep wearing it. I love it.
We remember Oli Darlington, plus we have an interview with Kristján Sturluson, a chairboy from Iceland. But first, it's over to Mexico for a catch-up with Uri.
Ringing the Blues from Mexico City. Mi nombre es Uri and here are the results for League One. AFC Wimbledon 1, Fleetwood Town 2, Blackpool 2, Southend United 1, Burton Albion 0, Gillingham 0, Coventry City 2, Bolton Wanderers 1, Doncaster Rovers 1, Rochdale 1, Peterborough United 4, Oxford United 0, Shrewsbury Town 1, MK Dons 1, Sunderland 1, Ipswich Town 0, Tranmere Rovers 0, Portsmouth 2, Wycombe Wanderers 3, Bristol Rovers 1. And now for Chairboy Spanish, you see I'm on my way to Brazil for a convention, for a music convention. That's why I'm recording straight on the phone and not a professional microphone. You may hear the quality is not that good this time. But this time it's not going to be Chairboy Spanish, but Chairboy's Portuguese. We're gonna go for a very easy one. So, Chairboys, how do we say that in Portuguese? So, chair is cadeira. And boys, meninos. So Chairboys is meninos da cadeira. Chairboys, meninos da cadeira. Now you know a little bit more of Portuguese because of this time I'm going to Brazil. No Chairboy Spanish this time. So, back to London with my amigo Phil Cacipoli. Adios.
Obrigado, Uri, and safe travels to you. Right, Wycombe were back at Adams Park against Bristol Rovers on Saturday with the best home record in League One, and it was a good day for the Chairboys.
Every team, you know, across the country, you know, you look to your home form as being your mainstay and your spine of your points. We love playing at home, and it's great to have that.
Short to get the game on fire. There's a low cross to Akinfenwa. Goal! The Wycombe Wanderers, the beast is back and scores. It was not quite a tap in, but it was from around the penalty spot. He just had to throw it in. Wycombe 1, Bristol Rovers 0.
Pressure on the Wycombe defence. Still to the middle. A shot and a goal. Brilliant shot from Jaden Mitchell-Lawson from the edge of the box. I said that Bristol looked the more likely to score. It's come true, I'm afraid. So Wycombe 1, Bristol Rovers 1. It's a shot cross. Oh, and it's headed away. Comes down for Jacobson. Brilliant shot. Yeah! Darius Charles makes it 2 for Wycombe. Bristol Rovers couldn't get it clear. Charles, just almost by instinct, hooks it into the net.
Superb technique on the volley. Fantastic save from Jamal Blackman. All he could do really was to stop the shot. He's beating it back out. Darius Charles, 2-1.
Finds the back of Akinfenwa. Oh, it doesn't quite fall. Bloom's in the area. He could get a shot away here. And he does! Mr. Wycombe scores again on his birthday. What finer present could there be for the man who served his club so faithfully for the past 15 years? Wycombe 3, Bristol Rovers 1.
Gareth, Adams Park, home comforts, another win. That's a fantastic result.
Yeah, you know, we were awesome first half, Phil. You know, we really dominated Bristol and some real good chances, set plays. We made counts. You know, going forward, we were really good. And I thought second half we had to stand up to some serious pressure. I changed shape 20 minutes into the second half, or 15 minutes, I think it was. I think I had a plan to change shape a little bit later to see the game out. I had to do it a little bit earlier because Upson was striding through with the ball and causing problems. We knew their threats, and I thought Darius and Anthony Stewart dealt with Clark Harris very well. A couple of scary moments we've got to be better at, but you know, we've got some good artillery on the bench as well. And Paul Smith comes on, Namdi comes on, you know, and Nick Freeman. You've got three players there who can change games, as well as Fred on your dim, Alex Patterson still in reserve, you know. So I'm really pleased, and hopefully we can get the boys turned around quickly for Tuesday.
53 points now, same as last season. That's an incredible achievement.
Yeah, awesome, you know, and as you say, you know, it's been a brilliant season so far, you know, to equal what we did last year in our second season in League One for such a long time. People are talking about us. People are making jokes about why Wycombe are in the top six, and I'm taking that as huge compliments. I'm taking that as they're worried about us. You know, there's never a truer word said in jest sometimes, and I think when people talk about us, how the hell did they get there? I think they're worried about us, and I want to keep giving performances like this to justify those worries. I want to be around the top at the end of the season, and performances like today will help us do that.
400 games as a manager for you at Wycombe Wanderers, 36th birthday for Matt Bloomfield, and a goal. Quite some day for the club. Yeah,
some real big milestones today, and like I say, there's bigger things than football, and the tributes are very important. I got some cracking guys in that dressing room, and you know, they know this is a game and they'll give everything for it, but they also know that the culture of the club and being together and just the Wycombe way is so important, and I think that showed really true today, and really pleased we got the result.
Blooms went off at half time. Is he okay, or was it a tactical one?
He got a stamp on the calf, so he's got a slight injury. Bayo again. People will obviously speak about last week and his absence and things, but he's taking jabs to the knee to play for us. He's that important for us. He's just an absolute warrior, that guy, and we would not be anywhere near where we are without Adebayo Akinfenwa over the last 4 years. He's leader in that dressing room, and he's an absolute, you know, I can't do without him on the pitch sometimes. But with the likes of Fred Onyedinma fit now, and Paul Smith firing again, you know, Josh Parker and David Stockdale, people like this, and not getting in the team and the squad, we're back to our depth. Jack Grimmer's just around the corner. I feel that timing's really important. We're coming to a great stage of the season, and I seem to be getting some of my legs back. We'll see what we can do.
And the jacket, you've got to wear this away from home, surely?
Do you know what? It's me, isn't it? There's a big thing about being yourself nowadays with all the social media and mental health and things in the world. Sod it, I'm just going to be me. This is me. This is how I'd be out on a Saturday night, and I think the boys respect me being me. They know I can be a bit of a lunatic sometimes, but I'll do anything for those boys. We'll scrap for each other, we'll fight for each other, and if I have to keep wearing this leather jacket and it gets us results, then I'll keep wearing it. I love it.
Gareth, 100% win record for the jacket. Wycombe, 53 points. Have a great weekend.
Really pleased. Thanks, Phil.
The game was dedicated to the memory of Oli Darlington, the young Chairboys fan who tragically died of sepsis at the start of the year. Over 350 of Oli's family, friends and Downley Dynamo's teammates attended the game. Before the match, Oli's number 11 Dynamo shirt was paraded around the pitch along with a signed Wycombe shirt bearing his name. Afterwards, the players dedicated the victory to Oli, and Gareth Ainsworth marked the occasion at the start of his post-match interview.
There's only one story today, and that's the winning the game was the biggest tribute we could give to Oliver Darlington, the 13-year-old fan we lost just after New Year. I met his mum and dad before the game, and honestly, I admire their strength so much. I've got a 13-year-old myself, and he shared the same football pitch as Oliver. I found out before the game, and that hits home for me. There's some things bigger than football, and that certainly is. And I know it's only a game, but I'm so glad we won today, and having lost such a young supporter, I hope the family you know, I've got plenty of sympathy and thoughts and prayers today. It's very important.
Wycombe Wanderers decided to donate all proceeds from the ticket sales from the large Dynamos group back to Downley Dynamos. I spoke to Pete Couhig about this.
It was really an easy decision. It wasn't even a decision, really. It was, okay, how can we get as many of his friends and family there, and how can we have as big an impact as we can to celebrate his life, really. I mean, it's an unbelievably difficult thing for his friends and family to go through. I've got kids, it's been tough to even contemplate going through that, and to see and to just hopefully be able to provide a moment of joy for everybody at a very tough time was something we really wanted to do.
After the game, I caught up with Oli's dad, Tom Darlington.
Emotional for all of us, I guess, you know, seeing the club do so much for us. You know, Gaz coming over at the end with Oli's shirt, seeing his teammates parade round at the before the game was just fantastic today. Really emotional, fantastic. We got the win as well.
On a normal Saturday, you'd have been here with Oli. I mean, that must be tough for you. I mean, great to see people come together, but for you especially, it must hit home that he's not here.
Yeah, it does, and yeah, this first time back at Adams Park since Oli was taken ill, and we'd have been in the terrace, shouting our heads off, you know, in a normal Saturday afternoon, supporting the boys, and you know, it's going to be strange. You know, obviously not in the terrace today, but next game when I'm back in the terrace, it's going to seem weird for us.
Football clubs, you know, they're part of the community. People who don't like football sometimes just say, oh, it's just a game, but I think today's shown actually it's more than that, isn't it?
Wycombe's a family, isn't it? The manager says it about the players, and it's the same amongst the fans. You know, there's guys I stand with in the terrace that we don't really know, but we've stood around each other for the last 15-20 years, and you become friends with them, and yeah, it's a family, and the club's doing some great stuff to help raise awareness for what Oli went through, and that means the world to us.
You and the family have been so brilliant in talking about sepsis at such a tough time for you all. The money raised has been fantastic, and that awareness continues to rise now because of your efforts. So you must take some sense of pride in that. Oh
yeah, absolutely. I think when I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, we said this, you know, we can't believe that this has happened for no reason, and there's got to be some good comes out of this. So you know, continuing to raise awareness, you know, the club doing their bit today has been fantastic, and we'll keep doing that in Oli's memory.
Gareth Ainsworth has almost been in tears in post-match talking about your son. It must be an incredibly surreal, powerful day for you.
Yeah, it is, and you know, we had a chat with Gaz before the game, and the stuff he said was really nice. And you know, he's got a boy the same age as Oli, and you know, I think it hits home with people, doesn't it? And you know, it's a really emotional day. Fantastic that Wycombe and his Downley teammates were here to see it today, and it'll live long in our memories. Oli's team played down at the Pedestal down in West Wycombe, so first and foremost, the club want to put a memorial bench down there next to the pitch, so people can come and watch the match, and his teammates can sit there and you know and think about Oli. But we hope there's enough money raised to go towards some changing room refurbishment down there. The old pavilion down there is not in the best of states. We've done some work over the years to tidy it up a bit, but we hope there's some more money left over that will help us improve those facilities for the boys for years to come.
If you would like to make a donation to this fund, then you can find more details on the Wycombe Wanderers website. Well, there was no celebrating on the pitch for the Bristol Rovers fans this time round, and Storm Kira arrived a day too late to help them out too. Here's what they thought though after the game. Fetch.
Well, that was ridiculous. We should have scored 4 or 5 there, and that's no exaggeration. It was arguably the best we've played under Garner, maybe all season from an attacking sense. Nothing seems to be going right for us at the moment.
Kingswood is blue.
We're in free fall. If we lose on Tuesday, we need to bring in an experienced manager to help arrest the decline until the end of the season. We can't let this continue. Offer Garner the opportunity to either stay on as a coach until the summer or take extended leave.
I'm Gas.
That was a totally predictable scoreline, other than the fact that we scored one. The board have a lot to answer for. Talk about a guy being out of his depth. We haven't been able to defend since the day Garner arrived. And when you compare it to Coughlan's defence, it's an absolute disgrace.
Darren 666.
You can't blame the manager for the missed chances and the 3 blatant penalties we should have had, but you can blame him for playing 3 very similar players in midfield.
Lionheart.
Shame about our defending today. Otherwise, I thought most of the guys played really well.
Kruger.
Better team lost, best defence won.
Emperor Superbus.
This game went all wrong with bad finishing, sleepy marking, and a homer ref. But we had him on the rack at 1-1 and for much of the second half. So rather than sacking Garner, with last week's and this week's performances, I feel he's turned a corner.
Gashead Blues.
The ref today was truly dreadful. He missed lots and made so many wrong decisions.
Hudson 1883.
We could have scored 7 today. So many great chances. Not even half chances. Gilt-edged chances that should have been put away. We also gifted Wycombe 3 soft, avoidable goals. In between, I thought we played very well, and the 3-1 scoreline is extremely generous to a not very special Wycombe side.
Jongen zetten we op Gilva. Gilva pistol Jonta och Kolpen. Kolpen! Ska! Ja! Mer corner! Emil! Mer corner! Emil! Jerinis! Kolpen Sturluson med första marken sitt. AM! Erneki! Asirastan! Island 2! England 8!
Iceland's winning goal against England at the Euros, beautifully commentated by Gudmundar Benediktsson. That moment really sums up supporting England for me, while simultaneously endearing Iceland as well to us all. Well, the worldwide Wycombe phenomena, copyright Rob Kuhig, has an Icelandic member, and he was with us at Adams Park for the Bristol Rovers game. I caught up with Kristján Sturluson shortly before kickoff.
Yeah, it's actually my 5th time coming over. I came here first in 2004 with my wife. We went for a game and I actually brought my shirt from that match, my first ever Wycombe shirt.
Wow.
Great game, so I'm hoping it'll be a repeat of that game.
What was the score that day?
4-1.
Wow, well, we're ahead of the Bristol Rovers game here today. We'll take 4-1 ahead of this game, certainly. Kristján, the obvious question is, why on earth do you support Wycombe Wanderers?
Yeah, that's a good question, and a question I get asked quite a lot. So maybe the shirt version. English football is very popular in Iceland, and if we were to meet for the first time, a typical icebreaker would be, what team do you support in England? And that would get us chatting. So English football has always been very popular in Iceland. I grew up as a Man United supporter. My father supported Man United and my brother. And I remember, watching football on television. And then during the 90s, I used to read Iceland's biggest newspaper. It would have a big sports section after the weekend, and it would display the standings in all the leagues in Europe. And it would cover all the leagues in England. And there was a name that caught my eye, Wycombe Wanderers. And then, as everybody knows, they went from Non-League to Division 3 to Division 2, almost missed out on a playoff spot. That sort of got me going. I saw the team colours in Match football magazine, which I used to buy as a teenager. And then, of course, through Championship Manager, you got to know the players' names. And that sort of, got the ball rolling. And I remember I signed up for some emailing list during the mid-90s. And, today we have social media, of course we have the internet. I'm talking like I lived in the dark ages or something. But I was on a mailing list, and every Monday, it's like your podcast, every Monday you would get sort of, news from Wycombe. And I remember the Lincoln match which we had to win, otherwise we'd be relegated. So I remember leaving school on a Friday thinking, oh, it's such a big match tomorrow, and I didn't find out until Monday morning how the match went.
Some say the 90s were better, but when you put it like that, it does sound like the Dark Ages.
Yeah, exactly.
So you came here for your 30th birthday,
yep.
And a little bird tells me it's your 40th birthday this weekend as well.
Yep.
So I'm guessing you'll be back here for your 50th.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, it'll be a tradition. Yeah.
I understand there's a bit of a story behind where your 30th birthday party was going to take place.
Yeah, me and my friends from school, we wanted to do something special for our 30th birthday. Some wanted to visit Anfield and others wanted to visit Old Trafford. So there was a difference in opinion. So I said to my mates, why don't we just, settle it? Go to Adams Park. And we went for a match here and it was absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic. Well, I think that should have been top of your list anyway, I think, to come to Adams Park. There can't be many Wycombe Wanderers fans in Iceland, surely?
No, I don't think so. One of my friends who's actually with me here today, the sole survivor from the trip in 2010, his aunt was married to an Englishman, a massive West Ham fan. And back in 2010, he was telling him that he was going to England to see a football match, see Wycombe play. And he was like, Wycombe? Okay, yeah. And then he went to his local gym in Iceland the day after, a couple of days later, and he saw someone wearing a Wycombe shirt. So I believe there is one other Wycombe fan in Iceland, so I have to find him somewhere.
Okay, right. So if you're listening to this podcast somehow in Iceland and you do support Wycombe, make yourself known, because we need to start the supporters club, surely.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You can be the chairman of the Icelandic Wycombe Wanderers supporters club. How do you say that in Icelandic?
Stuðningsmannaklúbbur.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Chairboys Icelandic starts right here. 40th birthday, Matt Bloomfield's birthday today, as we sit here on the Saturday. Gareth Ainsworth's 400th game as manager. This is a monumental weekend for the club.
Yeah, milestone for everybody. It's a funny coincidence to be involved in that.
Now, iFollow has changed your match days now, because you don't have to wait till the Monday now to find out the results. You can watch the goals as they go in. Rob Kuick calls it the worldwide Wycombe phenomena. How does it feel to be a part of that?
It's hard to describe, because back in the dark ages, or just like before 3 years ago, you would just read match reports after the game or follow on Twitter or something like that. But to be able to watch live, it's something I thought I would never experience, and for me it was like winning the lottery, basically. And it's iFollow is always getting better. First, there was no commentary. 2 seasons ago, you came along, absolutely brilliant.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. And then this season we actually have replays, so it's always getting better.
We've all seen how Icelandic football fans celebrate. Sadly, the English fans are all too aware of that. What's it like for you at home when Wycombe score on iFollow? Are you going crazy at home?
Yeah, I do, and we actually have now. I have 3 children with my wife. Our youngest she'll turn 2 in June. When I've celebrated massively, 2 of my boys have actually been afraid and they've cried. And my wife has been telling me, you can't make our daughter cry. So it's sort of like a muted celebration, but fist pumping in the air, and yeah.
3 children. When will they be coming to Adams Park?
They actually came with me 2 years ago. I joke that my daughter has actually been here because my wife was pregnant at the time. So yeah, I brought my 2 boys here 2 years ago, and I thought I was sort of making them being Wycombe supporters, but when I told them that I was going for the trip, they were like, oh, why can't we go? So yeah, I'll bring them next time, definitely.
We can't not talk about Iceland, England.
Yeah.
As an English football fan, I remember where I was, what happened, and the aftermath. How was it for you? I mean, that was a crazy time for Icelandic football, but a deserved victory nonetheless.
Me and my friend Baldur, we were talking about us growing up, following the World Cup and the European Championships. We would always have to find a nation to support, because Iceland were nowhere near qualifying for a major tournament, and I never thought in my lifetime that I would see the national team reach a major tournament. I remember when we clinched going to the World Cup, I couldn't believe it. And in the first match we played Argentina, drew 1-1. It was massive. And then of course playing England, We played England, I think, in Manchester when they were going away for a tournament, either a World Cup or European Championship. We had an okay team then, and I was quite confident for that match. But a lot of Iceland national players, they said that Sven-Göran Eriksson, he came by the dressing room and said, today there's going to be no nonsense, no tackles, none whatsoever. I don't want to get anybody injured. The Icelandic team played terrible. We lost 6-1. So we sort of had that, in the back of our minds. But I remember when we qualified from the group stages, because us being in a major tournament, that was a win for us. But when we qualified up from the group and we met England, I was so pumped and I said, we're going to beat England. And I remember when the commentator, we gave away a penalty. Wayne Rooney scored, it was the 20th minute, and I couldn't believe it. I thought it was game over. But the commentator said, it's good to concede early, then we have more time to equalise.
I love that commentator.
Yeah.
He became a cult hero here as well. And
yeah.
I follow lots of commentators, and he's in my top 3. If you ever meet him, do pass on my regards. Now, as far as I gather, there aren't any Icelandic players to represent Wycombe as yet, but Ryan Alsop has played in Iceland. You sent me this wonderful clip of him playing, and I spoke to him in the week, and he's confirmed that he went out there and played for, I can't remember the pronunciation of the team.
Höttur.
Yeah, and he saved a penalty. You sent me this clip. I put it on Twitter. Go and check it out.
Yeah.
And he played against your team.
Yeah. We went for an away match. We drove for about 4 hours to Eastern Iceland. We were quite confident because on paper we were, going to win the game. Rocky put in an absolute man of the match performance. He was amazing. Saved a penalty. And we thought, this guy, he's way too good to be playing in Iceland. And, then a couple of games later, he was signed by, I think, Leyton Orient, then went on to Bournemouth. And I was thrilled when he was signed on loan. And then, of course, I always have I always find it brilliant when we sign players, they go somewhere else and they come back. That's something special. And there's something special about Wycombe because every player, they want to come back here. They want to... there's something special about Wycombe.
Well, Kristján, you keep coming back, which is great. We'll hopefully see you before your 50th, but I'll pencil in your 50th as well, so you'll be back on the podcast then, if indeed we're still going. But great to meet you and enjoy the game today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right, that's your lot for this week. Many thanks to Vital Len, Tom Darlington, Pete Coohig, Gareth Ainsworth, Kristján Sturluson, and of course you for tuning in. If you get a minute this week, do give the podcast a review on Apple Podcasts and tell your Wycombe Wanderers loving friends all about Ringing the Blues. We'll be back next week with an interview with Josh Parker, plus loads more. Come on, you Blues.